Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am Coach Lilia, and today in this video I will be talking to you all about why you should always leave your narcissistic wife without exposing her. Okay, I know a lot of you, most of you want to expose the narcissist because the ego got hurt probably for a couple of decades, maybe just a couple of years, I don't know, but I think that the time of abuse doesn't necessarily make it easier, right? Because again, the ego gets crushed. You think to yourself, how could I be so dumb and not see through this when everything was so evident, right? How could I let that happen to me? But understand, you're dealing with a mental case here, right? This is a child inside of a grown-up's body with so much rage and anger and shame. And if you do expose them, that's all you're going to get. The hostility is only going to increase. They're going to try to create the worst smear campaigns, calling you an abuser, calling you unsafe, maybe ruin your life by calling the cops on you. And while you're still under the same roof with her, if you expose her, you're really putting yourself in a very dangerous place. So you really need to ask yourself, but is it worth it to feed into that ego and expose her? Because I'm not going to get any closure with her if I do. I'm not going to get her to apologize and take responsibility for her actions. That's not going to happen. So, what is the true point? Ask yourself that. You're going to save a lot of energy. You're going to keep your peace of mind if you simply leave quietly and then expose her if you really have the desire to do so. But wait until you're no longer under the same roof. So, before I continue, of course, please schedule your one on one session with me if you need help navigating this. And, of course, subscribe to this channel if this information is helpful. So, let's dive into it. How do you leave your narcissistic wife without exposing her, and how do you do it carefully? So number one, you got to make sure you do it strategically. So you got to secure your housing. You got your condo picked out, or the house that you're moving to, or your friend's house, wherever you're going. Secure your housing, secure some finances. Okay, that emergency budget that you needed to put away because she might take revenge, blow away your credit cards. You need to make sure that you've got some money stashed away. And of course, create a good support system because your brain will start to gaslight you and you will start to question your decision very soon. And it's normal because this is a trauma bond. If it was easy, everybody would leave and nobody would look back and get hoovered back. So have good support system that can remind you that you did the right thing. Number two, okay, you avoid any confrontation. You don't owe her any explanations. Distance yourself as much as possible until you're ready to leave. And definitely, definitely do not announce your plan to leave. Okay? When you're going to a war, you don't go to the general of the opposite army and tell them your plan because you know that's going to backfire on you. So you really want to avoid for her to know anything. She's already going to feel it. So please, until you're ready to literally move out of the house, and even then, you should be moving out with somebody standing there with you, somebody from your support system, just in case she decides to ruin your life by calling the cops on you last minute. It's not uncommon for them to do that. So, or destroy your property. So understand, until you're ready to move out, you don't announce your plan. You want to drop it like a hot potato on her. And I know that for a lot of you, you think that I'm not going to respect myself if I do this. How can I do this to the mother of my children? Listen, she will ruin your life for as long as she can if you decide to tell her ahead of time and still live under the same roof with her for another couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months, because your situation is going to become so unsafe and unlivable, period. Okay, let's say you're ready to leave. You set such clear boundaries where you go no contact if you don't have children. If you have children, of course, you have to stay in touch, but it has to be only about the children, limited. And understand, she will always try to start conversations, either negative or positive, where you start to either feed into the negativity and argue, or you start to question your decision because she's being nice and polite and you already forgot what that felt like. So you really start to question your decision. Understand that every time she tries to reach out to you, it's coming from a place of manipulation. It's never innocent. If it's nice, it's to manipulate. If it's mean, it's to manipulate. It is never ever coming from an innocent place. I want you to have it like a mantra to yourself. The person is always trying to manipulate you. Okay, so every time you hear that ding on your phone and it's a text message from her, put your phone down and wait 2 hours. Okay, so you're not coming from a place of reaction. You don't owe her anything. Understand that. And even when you set boundaries, she's not going to respect them. So these boundaries are more set for you so that you start to regain your self-respect back. So yes, avoid explaining yourself. Just saying something like, I'm not having this conversation right now. Please respect this. This is more than enough, even too much. Next one here, and now it's time for you to heal. Okay, so once you're out of it, understand that it is already over. The rest is just logistics, right? You don't have to wait for the divorce papers to be signed to feel like it's over. Focus on your healing, get your support system in check, reconnect with your identity, because understand that once you move out, you're never going to be that same person that you used to be before you met her. That person is gone. Right now is going to be the new version of you that knows all of this, that has all this wisdom, that has all of this resiliency. And forgiving yourself for everything that you went through is going to be hard, but it can happen a lot faster the second that you accept everything that happened, the second that you understand that everything that happened, there was a purpose to it. It was all teaching you something, right? And it did. So when you accept it and when you actually foster gratitude for everything, and when you foster compassion and kindness for yourself for everything that you went through, by letting go of that shame, by letting go of that guilt, by simply being kind to yourself and finally feeling this freedom of walking into your new chapter, that is the real superpower. You are free, and she's not going to manipulate you anymore. So there's really no need for vengeance, for that revenge, because she's not getting her supply back. That's the real superpower. Okay. And if she's been with you for a couple of decades, understand that it is going to be so much harder, if not impossible, for her to replace you, to find a new guy who's going to be paying all of her bills, putting up with all of this abuse, acting as her punching bag, right? Understand this is going to be nearly impossible. And in her head, she's going to have so much rage and anger because she has invested all this time and energy into you, maybe had some kids with you, right? So she was sure that you were not going anywhere. And now that you're gone, this is an unknown ground for her now too. So expect extreme rage. She's going to try to punish you in every way she can. But once again, there's no need to expose, because the best revenge, it's just moving on. It's just moving on in your healthy new chapter and not looking back, because the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is simple indifference. And that is the point that I really truly hope you will get to very, very soon. When you get a text message from her and it no longer gets on your nerves, it no longer activates any anger, it's just there. It's an inconvenience, but it's just there. And the kind of resiliency that you will now have after this relationship, nothing will compare to this. So, wishing you all everything that you need as you're going through this. And of course, don't hesitate to schedule your one on one session with me if you need help navigating this. I will see you all in my next video.